Hi Leo, this is Amanda Nardozzi. Thanks for hopping into my little den here, keeping it warm, keeping it cozy. Today I'm doing readings next to my corgi Milo. I gave him a bone, so if you hear munching in the background, that's him. He's been wanting attention and shoving my elbow, so you may see him featured at some point. But I think this bone's going to take him a while. So, that being said, we are going to hop right into your reading. This is for the new moon in Pisces coming up on March 10th, 2024. So, whether you have Leo placements in sun, moon, rising, whatever, even if you feel called to just listen to Leo, maybe there's a message in here for you, of course, as always. Stand in your own power, listen to yourself, figure out what fits, what doesn't, and we'll get into it. So this is for generally around the new moon. This energy might be more prominent around the new moon in Pisces. But generally, I like to do these readings and think of, okay, the next 2 weeks. So the energy that's strongest, the energy that, the cycle of energy that we're entering into for the new moon in Pisces, or the new moon or full moon whenever I do these readings, and then like the next 2 weeks. So let me see what's going on. So thank you, Archangel Michael, for casting light of protection around me. And thank you to all the archangels and spirit team, spirit guides, angels, for helping me connect with the Leo energies and helping channel healing energy for the highest good. Okay. Your cards are just popping out all over the place, Leo. Hot diggity damn. Okay. I'm going to say it before I lose it. You have a gift to share. So the reason I say that is you have the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups talks about the exchange of energy, gift giving. This is also our childlike state, childlike wonder. This is our imagination, our inspiration. But I feel this is some type of gift to share, especially because what's coming up from the subconscious is the star. The star and the Six of Cups coming up at the same time, especially when I pulled the Six of Cups and it popped into my mind, like having a gift that you need to share, but it's almost like it's been growing inside you for a long time and now it needs to come out. And the star, what's coming up from within is wanting to share this. So wanting to, maybe you want to do this as a profession or career. For some of you, you could be like, I don't know, for some of you it's spiritual gifts. For some of you, I'm seeing like an artistic thing coming up and it's like an off the wall thing, like a pottery or painting or something. But, having this new passion and being very, very good at it, or having a knack for it and then wanting to bring it to the surface and wanting to share it with people. But I do feel like for some of you it is more of a spiritual thing, like an exchange of spiritual energy. For some of you, okay, so for a lot of you, you do want to make money off of it because it's in your second house, which is a house of finance. It's also of our inner values as well, but it's intuitively coming through as finances. You also have Neptune and Libra. So Neptune is the illusionary house. It has a lot of imagination. So as I said, imagination with Neptune. On the flip side of Neptune is also a lot of illusion. So a lot of illusion. It's a little, I wouldn't say illusion, but it's like confusion or deception of some sort. But I do feel like this is more confusing than anything. And Libra is bringing harmony. So I feel like this energy does not actually feel harmonized. It's wanting to bring this this fun gift, and you want to. I just heard like you want to receive an allowance for it, so you want to receive steady income for this gift. But there's disappointment involved because the Five of Cups is a cross or challenge. So the Five of Cups is disappointments. So perhaps you invested in a project that didn't pan out the way that you thought it would, or perhaps you didn't make as much as you wanted to, or maybe you just have. So I'm feeling for some of you, it's more of like you have a desire to make money with some of this stuff, but you haven't really been putting forth the action to do so. It's more like I feel more of like this is so interesting because, like, with the new moon in Pisces, as a Pisces moon and rising myself, I found my head stuck in the planning stages a lot, or in the dreaming stages of things. So instead of putting my feet on the ground and actually putting action towards it, which is what my Sag sun is for, with other placements in my astrology chart, because it's not that simple. Astrology is not that simple, but that being said, with strong water placements, I understand the head up in the clouds, wanting to dream your life into existence. And in some cases, when you're really lucky, that can happen. But for most of us, we have to work. We have to put that energy out there. And for some of you, I can't help but feel like you did more dreaming than you did action. And the little action you put out there didn't pan out so well. And now you're just like, oh, well, now, am I even good for this? Like, what's life even if I can't do the thing that I know I'm meant to do, or the thing that I want to share? Like, am I even supposed to be doing this? Quote unquote, supposed to. We can do whatever we want, but I don't think that we have multiple purposes in life. I don't think that we're meant to do one specific thing or another. But I can't help but feel like, this is what I want to do, but I feel like there are all these obstacles in the way. But Spirit's like, I'm not going to say you're being dramatic, because obviously you feel the way that you feel for a reason. But Spirit wants you to gain a little bit of perspective, because I can't help but feel like you maybe only put forth, like, not like, some of you put forth a little bit of energy and it didn't work. You have to keep trying. For some of you, it's almost like, you had a lot of these big expectations because your head up was in the clouds, and then, like, the one tiny little thing or the one opportunity that you took didn't pan out, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, like, your self-esteem took a hit, which is very natural. But Spirit's like, cool it. Cool it. Like, I'm hearing, like, cool it, girl, or cool it, dude. Like, they're like, cool it. There's plenty of opportunities. There are plenty more opportunities for you. I heard, first of all, sit and wait. So for some of you, not really waiting for the opportunity to come, but keep putting out the energy that you're putting out, and other opportunities will come. That's the energy. That's the vibe here. And for a lot of you, again, I just see someone keep working. Like, even though Eight of Pentacles is not in this spread, that is the consistent mundane work card. That is the consistent putting forth action, putting forth energy, putting forth the work on the day-to-day basis. That's what Spirit's saying. Keep doing that, and opportunities will follow you. In the past position, you have Temperance. So in the recent past, you have balancing. You have, I'm hearing, like, issues. So potential issues with Temperance, actually. So issues with balancing. It's almost like I'm getting, like, the dipping your toes into the pool. So putting forth, like, a little bit, like, it's almost like you're running the rest of your life. You have other things in life that you need tending to and that you need taken care of. But it's almost like you put your toes a little bit into the pool, Leo, and it's like, oh, it's freezing. Like, it's always, I see what's wrong, going, oh my God, it's too cold. And it's like you expected it to be warmer. And then you start questioning, you turn to the divine, you're like, dudes, what the fuck? Like, why, excuse my language, but, like, why are you making me, or, like, why did this happen? Why am I feeling called to do this and the water's freaking cold? I thought it was going to be warm. And it's almost like, again, I just can't help but feel like the reaction is more than what it can be. Or the reaction is more than the reality, is what I want to say. The reaction is more than what the reality actually is. And the reality is that, you maybe just have to keep trying, because you're actually really good at what you do. You're, like, really, really good at it. But Spirit says, dunk your whole foot in. You dipped your toe in, they need you to dunk your whole foot in. And that'll help build up your confidence a little bit more once you start getting more opportunities, because it's interesting because my dad told me this, because he does a lot of vendor fairs and stuff, and he told me, because I was thinking about signing up for vendor fairs, and I've done a few with my tarot readings and my psychic and Reiki stuff. So if you're in the Pittsburgh area, watch out for that on my Instagram. But he said that for every yes, you're going to get 100 no's. So, when you're asking around for all these places to see where all, like, even if they don't have fairs, like, if you're going to try to host an event somewhere, you're going to get a ton of no's, or you're going to get a lot of rejection, or, like, it's going to feel like that there was never an opportunity for you. It's not going to feel like there's an opportunity out there. But eventually there is an avenue that you can get. And the funny thing is, or the fun thing is, I feel like that, you know, Spirit's showing me that somebody who finds that opportunity, that yes opportunity, the one that lights them up, the one that works for everybody involved, and then you end up getting a good return from it. But it's almost like you get your foot in the door with an opportunity, and then other opportunities follow because now you have learned where to look. It's almost like you didn't really know where to look before. But now, like, once you start knowing the lay of the land and start understanding the scene, then you will be able to have more opportunities. You'll be able to track down more of those opportunities. More of them will come to you because you're going to start building your network. So that's something to keep in mind too. That's what it feels like is coming in. Your focus right now is the Five of Wands. So Five of Wands is usually the card that indicates a lot of internal conflict. There's a lot of feelings going about. There's a lot of flitting about. I feel there's insecurities. So again, there's that insecurity coming in of, you know, I faced a challenge and it feels like I failed. You don't actually fail until you stop trying. So there's that, because failing is like a normal part of the process. If you want to say, nope, I'm not hearing that advice, like I failed, like it was a disastrous dumpster fire out in a freaking, it didn't even go out in a blaze of glory, it just blew up. Okay, fine. If that's the case, then I don't know why I'm getting such a flare with this. I don't know why I'm getting like a you don't understand type of energy. Like, it was bad. That's the type of energy that I feel like I'm engaging with. And Spirit's like, it's almost comical the way Spirit is like, you know, because I'm not making fun of you. It's just Spirit is like, it's almost, and they're not laughing at you. It's like Spirit's like, they're showing me like a very dramatic situation for like something that it's okay. Spirit wants me to assure you that it's okay that these things are happening. If you have big dreams and a lot of insecurities, those two are going to meet in the middle in that Five of Wands. That's just what's going to happen, because like failure is a part of the journey, if you want to call it that. Mistakes, failure, whatever, blips, obstacles, walls, whatever. It's all a part of the journey, and there's always a way around them. So there's always a way. There's always something you can fashion. Spirit said fashion a new outfit. So symbolically that tells me, you know, if what you tried on didn't work, if the opportunity that you had just failed, like, and everything went up in flames, try on a different outfit. It might just be your jam. And if you are as spiritual and as in tune to the energy as I'm feeling in this pile, this, I don't know why I call it pile, but with this sign, with this energy that I'm communicating with now, it feels like you're so in tune with the energy that it does feel dramatic when you fail, because it doesn't feel aligned. There are so many things rubbing you the wrong way that it just raises your bar and goes, this doesn't work for me. But there is an element, there's like the core of what you're trying to do still rings true. It's just everything else surrounding it might not fit. And you need to find what fits. It's almost like you need to find the right sound bowl. They're giving me like you need to find the right tuning fork. Tuning forks are like these little instruments. I see them used in Reiki sometimes, but it's just literally just a metal thing that gives off a certain frequency when you hit it. And they're all slightly different. But you're somebody who would be very aggravated if you got anything but the one tuning fork that you needed. And because you can sense those types of energies, you can feel the difference between that, and you can feel the difference in your body. So rely on that. Rely on those signs, even if you're not feeling it in a clairsentient way, if you're not feeling it through your feeling. But I feel a frustration. So if you're feeling frustration, first of all, you're on the right track in that, like, you're sensing what does and does not work for you. Tune into those. Tune into your frustration and figure out what exactly are you frustrated with, and parse it out, you know, and say like, okay, well, what's not working for me? What is? And then that will help you determine what you like about something, what you don't, and then try to fashion something else. If you liked the sunglasses from your old outfit, burn the rest and take your sunglasses with you to the next outfit and see what works and what doesn't. So that being said, near future is the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is needing to make a choice. Again, choosing what's going to go, what's going to stay, choosing a path in particular. So try not to get too up in the clouds and too into your imaginative state, because you could miss opportunities that are right in front of you. So making sure that you are standing on those decisions. And even though I'm feeling somebody who's literally standing there and saying, this is not ideal. Neither situation is ideal. Spirit says, take an opportunity anyway. Take the best one. Take the one that best presents itself to you at this time. And then see what that leads to, because this, like, whatever you choose next is not the end all be all, and there's more to come. You also have the Five of Swords, so feeling very combative. I feel like this is with yourself. Feeling combative with yourself. If this is a project with other people, if you're working with other people, you can be feeling combative with other people, or they might be combative with you. But again, it's because we just talked about you being in the wrong space, or we talked about this opportunity, and this opportunity was meant to come your way. Whatever you just did was meant to come your way, and it didn't work out for a reason. That's because some things didn't vibe with you, and that's what causes this dissonance, this Five of Swords energy, is because something is clashing. So again, recognizing that and bringing awareness to that is going to give you so much, it's going to relieve so much pressure, and it's going to help clear some of that frustration a little bit, because again, in your Astro Dice, you have Libra, which is calling for harmony and balance. And again, with Temperance, like, I do feel the energy of harmony and balance here, and there is a desire to have that balance and that harmony. So again, working through that frustration, having a plan for the way forward, and it's kind of like a wait and see, keep doing your work and see what comes next. It's okay. You might just expect the frustration to come in a little bit more. That's okay. All right, so in your environment, you have the Six of Wands. You're leading the way. Spirit's following your lead. So again, make sure you're putting in the work, because Six of Wands is a leadership card. Six of Wands is, it's funny because I can't help but feel like this energy is working very closely with Spirit. You might actually be a spiritual leader. You might be doing tarot or channeling or something like Reiki. I don't know. You're doing something spiritual. Some of you, it's more of like a creative or artistic thing, or it's like another project. But I don't know. I'm getting hardcore spiritual for some of you. But Spirit's looking to you to lead. So you are your own leader, and Spirit wants you to see that. So in your environment, you lead the way. Everything, your whole project, everything that you do, it's all directed by how much work you put in or the direction that you take. It's all on you. It doesn't really feel like it's on anybody else. And then you have, just rely on that. So owning that with confidence is the important part. That's the part of that message that Spirit wants you to do, is like, take that confidence and practice that confidence. It is something to be practiced. It's not something you have to like square away right now, but get that practice in for that confidence, because that's going to be that's like the key of being successful sometimes, is just confidence. The Knight of Wands in your hopes and your fears. So hoping that your passion sticks. That's hoping that your passion sticks. Hopes and fears, they're typically they're represented by the same card, because typically the things that we hope for the most are the things that we fear losing, or we fear that we'll never accomplish or get. And the Knight of Wands, when it's in this position, tells me that you want to keep this fire going, you want to keep it going strong, and I feel like changing up the landscape a little bit. So I don't think this is the type of work that's going to stay the same for you. So for example, if you're a tarot reader, doing different spreads all of the time might be your jam. Doing something different to keep that spark alive or get you excited about it. Creating your own spreads might be something. But that feels kind of like reassurance for this path, is that whatever you're on, whatever you're doing, it's almost like you're in charge for making it interesting and spicing it up. So if you like doing personal readings and that's how you make your money or whatever, and then you maybe want to teach classes for a while instead, you could just turn off personal readings, go into teaching course classes, or teaching doing like a virtual thing. I do feel like this can be channeled in different ways. Whatever the skill is can be channeled differently. So follow that excitement, follow that passion. That's going to be your key. And the outcome is the Seven of Swords. So this is just doubts. I mean, you're just going to have to live with doubts. It's they will heal themselves in time, these doubts. As you keep, it's almost like you don't need to prove yourself to anybody, but I do feel like sometimes, especially if you have a lot of insecurities, I had to get over a lot of my insecurities, and I still have some, but doing things in spite, doing things in the face of those insecurities, I think is kind of the key with Leo in this cycle, is you might have doubts, and yes, you're going to carry a bunch of shit. You're going to take all your weight. You're going to keep moving forward with your work, and you're going to turn around, and you might trip a little bit because you're turning around and focusing on your doubts. It's going to happen, and that's okay. Let it happen. Spirits just let it be. They don't want you to kind of turn around and focus on it. But ultimately, because it's in the outcome, that is what's going to happen, and that's okay, though. That's a part of your journey. That's what you're meant to learn, is to overcome and surmount those difficulties and those doubts. But it's doubts in yourself, and doubts there's a question, am I going to make it? Is it worth my while? Or not really so much as worth your while. It's almost like I feel, okay, I'm going to talk like you for a second. I know it's worth my while, but can I make it? Can I do this? I don't know if this, is something that I'm even capable of. And Spirit's saying, watch your words. It's interesting because Ari's got a similar message of watching your words because the energy parrots back to you, like the law of attraction. It's a little tricky. Things are a little tricky right now with the Neptune energy. So even just waiting for this to pass and just keep putting your nose to the grindstone and doing your work, that's going to help, again, gain confidence as your opportunities come to you and as you find things that fit a little bit more with what you're trying to do. Okay? We also have a leg up. So receiving help from other sources, finding a mentor. This could be help in your community, your friends. This could be getting help in areas where you need it. For this, I feel like some of you just need a breather. You just need to hang out with people. But for some of you, there are some things that you don't know in your field. That's like the biggest thing, I think, is that, like, if you're new to a field, okay, I'm getting, like, for whatever reason, I'm getting an example from someone I know in my life who recently took up something new, like a new artistry, and asking somebody else for help. You know you have a knack for it, but there's insecurities there, and there might be some things that you don't know, and honestly, part of the confidence not only comes from doing things and from, you know, accomplishing things. That's not the only way to gain confidence. You don't have to be there and be making money already to gain your confidence. Sometimes all that we're missing and that we need confidence for is just the knowledge to do what is your body trying to tell you? That's the biggest question I would have to ask yourself. I would have you ask yourself, what is making me the most uncomfortable right now? Not so much as can I accomplish it, but what are you stuck on? Is there gaps? Are there gaps in your knowledge that you need to fill? You know, who can you learn from? Is there a mentor or is there a book that you can read? Is there something that you can study to help yourself know a little bit more about what it is that you're doing or what you're trying to accomplish? So doing a little bit of research, doing a little bit of studying, and finding that extra help, finding that mentor. You also have yin. So, excuse me. Again. Excuse me, I'm sorry. This is, yin is not necessarily sitting and doing nothing. I know a lot of times people think that yin and yang, the yang is the doing and the yin is doing nothing. No, yin is very active in its receptive nature. So it's understanding the guidance that is coming in from the divine. This is like the spiritual counsel that is knocking at your door and you're not answering, or you're trying to answer and it's almost like you're too frantic because you're asking very specific questions, and Spirit's like, we're not focused on the questions of whether or not you can do it. We're past that. We know you can do it. But try to be open and receptive and let go of those specific questions so that you can actually hear what it is Spirit's actually trying to tell you, and sit back and just allow yourself to receive that message. So whether it's in a meditation, guided meditations on YouTube are super helpful, but sitting in that and letting that energy be open. Because again, if you're focused on a very particular thing, the messages, like I find that when I try to communicate with Spirit, you know, we're all a little bit psychic. I'm not special. We all do this, okay? We can all do this. I've just honed it a little bit more. It's a skill that you can hone too. And I'm not saying, like, you know, if you're not sensing anything, you don't have to hardcore jump into this and abandon all of your stuff. Don't do that. But walking in step with your path, like Spirit's like, no, you're talking to the people that are in step with this spiritual path. So you are somebody who is psychic and sensitive, and Spirit's asking you to open your mind and open your energy more to listen to your next steps. So consider for a second, and I actually sometimes when I talk to Spirit, I imagine a physical person in front of me, and I imagine this person saying, I believe, or I know that you can do this. And you are speaking with somebody who knows and feels confident that you can do this. Spirit communicates through our imagination, especially if your head is up in the clouds a little bit, like this Neptune energy. If you're somebody who is huge on dreaming, and again, like we're in a Pisces season, so it's a great psychic time. Pisces is not only an emotionally intuitive sign, they're also just highly intuitive in general. They're very psychic. It's a perfect time for meditation, especially with new moons being around new beginnings. So, focusing on opening up your energy and being receptive to anything that can come through, and not necessarily on a specific question of, can I do this? Will this happen? When will it happen? Open up your heart and see, like, it's basically taking the walls off of your mind and taking that focus away and just imagining like a blank landscape, like I call it no man's land, I guess, where it's just nobody's there, and just asking spirit, speak through me or come to me and please give me some guidance. And this is going to be like a good 10, 20, 30 minute meditation. Like, this is not something, if you can only meditate for like 5 minutes, that's cool. Sometimes I meditate before I go to sleep because I just don't have any other time during the day, and that's okay too. But Spirit wants you to take time to sit with this and allow yourself to receive. Let's see what else we got. I'm going to pull from two more decks, and then I'm going to roll some dice for you. So let's see what else is going on. For our Leo. Angelic protection. So any move that you make is protected at this time. I usually get this when I fear the worst. And Spirit comes through with this card to remind me that this path that you're on is protected. So it's protected as in, like, if this particular opportunity does not work out again, more will follow. Like, you're guaranteed success so long as you keep pushing forward and you keep trying to make it. Okay, you're not like, it's almost like Spirit's like, you have an amazing ability to make something out of nothing. That's what creation is. That is the beautiful thing about creation. That's what I love about writing so much. That's what I love about channeling. Like, it seems to come from nowhere, right? It seems like I'm pulling the shit out of my ass. But when you get in tune with this stuff, you can start feeling the energy move through you, and you're like, oh, hot dang, I've been channeling this whole time and I didn't know it. I'm just becoming more sensitive to the energy now. So no matter what field you're in, just know that, you know, Spirit is directing you, Spirit is guiding you, and they're holding you close. It doesn't mean that you're going to succeed at everything, every opportunity that comes your way, but again, it's all about finding your place in the world. So this reminds me of an amazing reader that I met through an app once, and she gave this most amazing reading. She was a good reader for me, and I was her first reviewer. So I gave her a reading, and she gave me a reading, and it was amazing, and I left her an amazing review. But then she only did, I think, a few more readings after that, and then she was never online again, from what I've seen. And a lot of those reviews were negative. They were like, oh, it wasn't the type of reading I expected, and I was like, she's phenomenal. What are you talking about? And I'm like, because she was spot on for me. She read things on a very energetic level. She's like, a lot of soul growth stuff, and I was like, yeah, but I understand, like, every reader's different, and for a lot of people it's not their jam. But what it felt like to me, immediately what had come through was, this is not her space, and now she knows. Her gifts are better served, like, she's needed elsewhere. And I was like, ooh, and I got the chills from that. I'm still getting the chills from that as I say that, because if something doesn't work out, that means that that's not the space for you. That doesn't necessarily mean that the gift or like the path that you want to be on is not for you. And that's something very important to keep in mind. And you actually had 3 cards that popped out here. So let's see what we got going on. You have the mountain. So overcoming obstacles, climbing that mountain. I got an image of somebody approaching this mountain. They're at the base of the mountain and they just went, because they were just pissed that they had to climb this mountain. Sorry. Everybody does it. You can climb over the mountain. You can climb around. You can maybe go in the mouth of the cave, fight the dragon for a little bit, make your way out to the other side. There are so many ways that you can surmount this obstacle. Scream at it. Get your feelings out. Let your frustration out. But then work your way through it. Because, again, everybody has that mountain. This is your own mountain you got to go through, and it's totally fine. Flying. This is like, again, oh, wow. Okay. So flying is the dreaming card. So connecting with your dreams and trying to create your heaven on earth. It's trying to bring those dreams to reality. And for some of you, you're feeling called to do something with this mountain. You want to fly over it. There's a certain way that you want to surmount it. And it's possible, and you can do that, but you have to work your way up to it. So again, take whatever opportunity comes next. You will be flying in no time. So keep dreaming your big dreams. So that way you can, it's just baby steps. It's working a little bit, baby steps. Ride the wave with this card. I love this card because the dolphin, the spirit of the dolphin comes up in a lot of decks, especially the spirit animal deck, another Colette Baron-Reid one, is the it's the card of this and that are true. And Ride the Wave echoes this a little bit more because, first of all, let me talk about the dolphin spirit with this and that are true, meaning that dolphins are very good with duality. So they're very playful. They communicate with humans very well. They're very psychic in nature, dolphins. And the spirit of the dolphins in that particular deck talks about understanding that there are icky things in life that you have to deal with that could promote growth, but sometimes things just sting. Like, life just fucking sucks sometimes, okay? Let me be real. And then sometimes, things are very, very good, things are going well, and it's all the waves. Sometimes the tide comes in, sometimes it draws out. So surfers have to hop on that shit if they want to ride the wave. They have to take that opportunity, and they have to be opportunistic when it comes to riding the waves, right? So riding the waves, dolphins understand that the waves will come and the waves will go. And understanding this wave is going to be a part of your process, understanding the push and pull of the tides, understanding your own cycles. That's why I like to check in with myself every new and full moon. I do big readings for myself every so often, every 2 weeks for that new moon and full moon, just because I know I work in cycles. There's that push and pull, and I like to assess the energy around that time. You might find yourself that you are a cyclic being, especially if you are very spiritual. You're probably affected by the moon, like I am. If you're tuning in with these messages, then that's probably something that you feel the energy heavily of. So I actually recommend for you to look up astrology forecasts and see what the collective energy is, but I find that for me, collective energies don't always line up with what I'm dealing with. Like, I can sense the energy around that, and sometimes it lines up and I'm like, whoo, that's awesome. But I go through very specific growth points because it all depends on your own astrological chart as well and how that energy interacts, okay? So that being said, those are your oracle cards. I'm going to roll some dice for you. Learning that push and pull of the wave and climbing that mountain, but honestly, that flying card just flies high. I feel like that's your golden ticket. That feels like that's your hope. Right there is just imagining, that hope and imagining your dreams there and staying true to those and understanding that that is possible. Just don't let that dim. All right, you have 2, 7, 4. I'm going to pull from Angel Numbers by Kyle Gray. I gave him this bone at the beginning of the reading, and you just devoured it all. Holy cow. That was so quick. He's still working on it. You probably heard him munching here and there. Holy cow. I'm so shocked. Corgis are like very ravenous. They're big eaters, so they're not supposed to eat a lot. But I mean, like, I give him his food and his food's like gone. I'm like, oh snap. All right, 2, 7, 4. Your angels are your biggest cheerleaders, and they are with you every step of the way. Rise up and move beyond all drama. Sorry, let me read that one more time. Your angels are your biggest cheerleaders, and they're with you every step of the way. Rise up and move beyond all drama. So this is hilarious because sometimes when I channel, messages come up again reflected in cards later, and basically that's Spirit's way of saying I said what I said and I meant it. And remember when I said at the beginning that the whole drama, like, it feels like a big drama fest. That not to make fun of you, but Spirit's like, I feel like Spirit's like, it's okay to say that. Just rise above. It's okay to have your moment. I'm dramatic too. But scream at the mountain. I'm a personal advocate for if you guys scream, let it out. But move beyond it. Get into that receptive mode and see what you can work with and work through, okay? So, that being said, Leo, this is actually a very fun energy. I feel like y'all are very fun-loving people. Thank you for letting me connect with that energy. If this resonated with you in any way, go ahead, like and subscribe and all the things. Maybe leave a comment down below and let me know how this resonated with you. It's always fun to see how, the types of connections that are made. But yeah, so keep up to date with me. I'm going to be sending out more collective readings over the next few days, as well as posting every new and full moon. So I love you, and I'll see you next time.